sure you guys saw that on tape that you watched from week 1 to week 2 and week 2 to week 3. Can you just touch on the areas that you felt there was good improvement?
Well, offensive line. I mean, that's where the biggest improvement came. You hope from week 1 to week 2 you see that improvement, and we really saw that from week 2 to week 3. So we wanted to come out of the game defining who we are in our run game, what our offensive line can do, and I think we're able to do that. I thought it was a good evaluation and some great film to go back and study. And today it was back to work and having a great practice this morning and continuing to build upon those fundamentals and continue to grow up front. But that was the number one area I thought we made the most strides.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about when the decision was made to give Mark Wade the opportunity to start a quarterback?
Usually we do a Thursday checklist, where we go through the whole game plan, and usually I'll bring the quarterbacks in and sit down and talk. And it wasn't one versus the other. It just was, we wanted to start fast, and for 2 weeks, we haven't. So we were looking for a change up, and that was more so than anything else. And sat down and said, we're gonna flip it this week and give Mark the opportunity to start and see if we can start fast and get first downs and score touchdowns. And we got the ball rolling there pretty quick. And at that point, you stay with what's hot.
Is Mark your obviously Mark will be your starter this week, but is there a chance Joe can get in, or is it just depend how the game goes?
It depends how the game goes. Those quarterbacks know, the whole goal for them is, get first downs, score touchdowns, and ultimately, as a quarterback, and as a coach, you want to be, your evaluation is wins and losses. So we got to get to that point. Right now, it's just moving the chains and getting touchdowns. So they know that, and they go out and compete every day. They competed this morning in practice, and both had a great practice.
Can you talk a little bit about Jalil's performance and obviously has he solidified that spot? I know you're in a rotation, but at least as the starter.
Yeah, one running back. When I look and see he had 26 rushes, that's hard to do week in and week out in the Missouri Valley. I mean, you'd wear the treads off the wheels if you would continue to do that. So, again, nothing going into the game we wanted to change. I even think getting Jalil going early, we just wanted to, see if we could create some momentum early there in the game. And I thought, with him and Mark there, that first drive. And again, the offensive line really made a drastic improvement. So it starts up front. And if we can block up front, that's going to open holes for Mark. It's going to open holes for Jalil, London, Joe, everybody. But Jalil got into a rhythm there, and, it was great seeing, us being able to run the ball and drive the football. I think the first 3 series of the game, driving football. And I think we've shown that in the first couple games, whether it's the drive after, North Dakota State in the third quarter or against Northern Iowa where, we had a 9-10 play drive. We haven't been able to finish those. And this past week, we were able to finish those drives.
Coach, go ahead, Joe.
Talk about the development up front. Where did you see biggest improvement there? Is it communication? It's just getting to the next level. Were there the big improvements that you saw or that you were looking for?
Well, I think we found a rhythm there with, having 5 guys for a whole week in the same position. We moved guys around, against Northern Iowa. We didn't have our left tackle, Dan Becker, so guys were playing out of position that week going in. So to be able to go in a week and say, okay, we're going to go, this is, the 5 we're going to go with, and, we're rolling 7 linemen, but here's the 5 at what specific position. And then how we practice, we made not drastic changes, but, usually when you're in a fall season, there's a lot more scout periods, and, the scout periods are, maybe not as physical. Maybe you can not have great fundamentals in a scout period and get through a scout period. So last week we made the decision, we need to, if we don't develop fundamentals now, then we're going to fall into the same thing when we get to fall. So we did a lot more where I don't care if we're going against our own defense and it's not maybe what Southern Illinois plays. We're going to go practice hard. We're going to compete. We're going to make it competitive. We're going to work on the fundamentals. So we've chunked out time in practice that we did that last week. And we saw great, because if you don't come ready to play when you're going against the ones, you're going to get exposed. And that's what we talked about today, that you got to come ready each and every practice to get better, because if the guy across from you is getting better and you didn't come with the right mindset to get better that day, you're going to find yourself getting exposed on film. So he's kind of made that competitive. And I think that helped our young men up front develop more fundamentally for the game on Saturday.
But South Dakota State has two experienced quarterbacks, including Jabari Gibbs, who you probably have seen on film yet. They've decided to go with a true freshman, which tells you a lot about his talent. What have you seen of the quarterback on film?
I mean, he's good. I think he'll be the best quarterback we've seen in our first 3 games. I mean, he can do it all. He throws the football. They got great receivers that catch the football, make plays downfield. They got a great offensive line. So it's the same thing you see each and every week. And now you put a quarterback in there that can not only throw the football, run, but when you watch him, you don't even think he's a freshman. He's sitting back there delivering the football. Great leader. So I have all the respect for what they're doing offensively.
See what you've played so far, and potentially this could be the best of the 4. I mean, how do you handle that with your kids? What's their mindset, and physically they okay?
Yeah, we're all right. I mean, you gauge yourself every week. We're going and playing the top teams in the country, and that, don't you want to do that? And my talk after practice is, guess what? You better love this. It's a beautiful day in Youngstown, Ohio. We get to play football, and it's hard. It is hard. When we talk about the process is every day coming out and putting good days upon good days upon good days upon good days. That's the process. And that just gives you a chance to compete on Saturday. And to know that every week, guess what? We got another great team that we got to go on the road that right now is ranked in the top 10. And we're going to see if we practice the right way, and we're going to see, did we improve from week 3 to week 4. So for me, it's exciting. For me, it's a great challenge for this team. It's, if you love football, you're playing against the best teams in the country, and you better come every day ready to play.
Coach, with that being said, if this was normal, you'd be in spring practice. Now you're playing games. So how do you kind of, is playing games better than practicing, I guess?
Yes, I would say yes. Because number one, I have a better feel of the teams in this league. Going against those opponents, watching tape, and I get to watch. We have cut-ups in today's world, and everyone watches cut-ups, and I watch continuous tape. Where I see beginning to an end of a game, so I get to see the whole league every week. And just seeing how they do things, seeing what type of players they have. And it's given me a good gauge of, what we need to do to be able to go in there in the next coming years and win football games. So for me to get out there and for this team to get out there and play football teams is only going to make us better, for the fall. But I don't want you to think that, we're practicing and working on fundamentals. No, we're playing to win each and every week. But we just got to be unique and creative in how we practice, because we can't just forego and say we're in season and fundamentals aren't important in practice. So, again, we do a lot more competitive one-on-one, twos-on-twos in practice than probably what you typically would do in a normal season. But in the same sense, I got to make sure that mentally and physically, we can make it through the next 5 weeks doing that. So again, it's a lot of things you got to balance, but playing a season makes you better. Playing games, the only way you get good is by playing football games.
Coach, defensively, the teams have a little bit of problem with the run. I feel like they've done a better job, and it's just been a little spotty, I guess.
Yeah.
Any that you want to see improvement on that side of the ball when it comes to stopping the run?
We talk about a plan to win. In this week, consistency. Our defense getting lined up, making sure we're in our proper run fits. And then number 3 is tackling. We're going against a very good running back, a very good offensive line. So, the focus this week, we got to have great run fits. We got to, tackle well. And then we just got to play hard from, through the whistle. We got to play hard for 4+ quarters. And, we're seeing that. We just consistently need to keep seeing that. And I think you'll see our young men improve each week in those areas.
Mostly healthy coming out of that game last week? Any major injuries, if you don't mind me asking?
No, there wasn't. That's the one thing that's nice. You get the report post game, and we came out fairly healthy, and we're out full force today, and which Tuesday's our most physical practice. Full padded practice, and had a great practice. Like I said, we just got to stack these good days upon good days, and I think our young men see that. I think when they get to Saturday and they see that they're in football games, now we got to finish those football games. And I said this early on, it's hard to win football games. It comes down to those 3rd and 4th quarters, but we're going to keep working and staying focused on finishing that. And I see a little different look in their eyes this week.
A quick question on the extra point. Was it just low?
Yeah, it was low. They had a push, but, it was low. And, when you're kicking, you're depending on a lot of things. You're depending on a snap. You're depending on a hold. You're depending on blocking up front. So a lot of variables go into that. You got 12-mile-per-hour winds. So all those things are probably swirling through the mind of a kicker, and even their kicker missed on that side of the field, later in the game. So it's just one of those things that, when you talk about special teams, it's not just one guy. He's depending on the hold, the snap, and the protection. And there's a lot of variables there. And, we got to improve upon that. We got to be, superior in our special teams to give us a chance on Saturdays. And, our return game, if you notice there, we have penalties the last 2 weeks, and those are areas we definitely got to clean up, because when we don't drive the football, it's usually after those penalties, after a kickoff return, and now instead of being on the 25-yard line, you're on the 15 or 10-yard line and dealing with a very long field.
Coach, where are you looking for Mark to take maybe another step? I know he's not just the only guy right now, but he played most of the last game, and he played pretty well. I mean, like you said, he moved the ball, he put points on the board. But if you wanted to see, another step in the right direction this week, where would you say it would be?
Probably decision making. Mark, he'll be the first one to tell you he's hard on himself and critiques himself hard. Just, there's a lot of things a quarterback. He's working the play clock. He's making sure the formation's set, reading coverages, seeing a blitz, switching the protections. So there's a lot going through a young man's mind, and to be able to make those decisions quicker and where to deliver the football, I think those are things that he walked away saying, here's the areas. We got 81 plays, 81 offensive plays on Saturday. So that was 81 opportunities where we made the right decision or maybe made the wrong decision, whether he's throwing the football, maybe should have handed the football. So those are the areas, we look at on film, we evaluate it. We went to practice yesterday making those corrections, and now we got a new game plan that, those decisions got to be made a lot quicker. And we know that the one thing we haven't been able to do is have explosive plays. And I believe, I don't know if anyone else right now, just by watching us, believe, but I believe we have explosive players that we can deliver the ball downfield and make big explosives, because explosive turns into touchdowns. We've been able to drive the football without having many explosive plays, which is hard to do every Saturday without having explosive plays. Just to drive a football 15 plays, 18 plays, I mean, that's difficult because mistakes are made. And to be able to do that without creating those explosives, I'm proud of our kids for that, but we got to push the ball downfield and give some of our skill athletes opportunities to make plays.